I have to say, is definitely looking like one of our MVPs this evening. He played a very impressive first map there. 25-11. We didn't get to see too much of him in the first series he played. Of course, I believe last week, but something's different. Something's in the water here. Devour looking very good. Him and Tax sending both your duelists towards C is a bit of an interesting start for the side of Nebula, but for Villains, it's now their map pick. It's their bread and butter. We'll see if they go up in flames or they cook that toast to perfection. Only time will tell. Early dart goes out. Jesse, an early recon himself, trying to get some early intel. The push down short. The push down long gonna come in. Flash comes out, and they're not gonna check the corner though. Suave caught on the reload, traded by Tax. Blast packs himself out, and he's to safety for the moment. Minimize. You can hear them kniving on the wall. He's looking for headshots though. You can hear the owl drone. It's the rotation to come in here from Villains. They're going to be bringing Pocket over in just a short second. Still having to feel out the map. Jesse's already over here. He's going to be playing close wall. They are going to be peeking together though. They're going to fall like dominoes to the likes of Orange Pearl. Down the dart goes out. Scans towards the site. It's going to be up to Royals to try and retake it here with Tax. Frenzy, Dink at long range, gets Marsh, able to drop in with 2 taps. Looking for a little bit more. They can't find it. Tax, now 20 HP, 1v3. He's up towards heaven, he's stuck his way over. He needs to find this initial kill on Orange Bell, he won't. It's an initial one from Pocket instead. It's the first round on the board here for Villains. Not what we're expected to see. On the side of Nebula, pistol again going into the favor of Villains. They always like to kick it off with a bang, but it's going to be up to the second one to truly test them. Nebula, no luxury of a spike plant, so they don't have the money to force into it. They're going to be popping out a frenzy here for Tax. On the side of Villains though, it's a frenzy for Orange Pill. The rest was Spectres early on. And Minimize looking to go aggressive early on. Down through the long side. I don't know if he was spotted on the camera. He will now. Right click. Go straight to it. He flicks onto it. Just show a little bit of what's to come maybe in the future. Aldrew gonna be sent through middle for the moment. Jesse just going for intel, as are really the entirety of Nebula. They don't have guns to work with. Drone gonna be sent through the sewer. Very patient other side of Villains. Normally you see teams, you know, they have second round by advantage. Often go for a very aggressive push. Dink though on Rose. Gonna be going into the side with Jesse. Very tall and true. Recon spots 2. Camera goes out. Marsh is looking for a little bit more. He's feeling a little bit antsy. He's feeling a little bit cheeky. Gonna be taking out Jesse. Tax, nowhere to be seen. Was called to the rotation A, but got lost on the way back to C. Spike will go down. 4v1. A very unwinnable situation. But we've seen some crazy things happen. We saw that showstopper go absolutely big. Keep Villains' hopes alive in that last map, but for the moment, almost for assuredly a second round to Villains. Tax just going to be holding for some exits, though no one's going to be going through garage to avail of Tax. We're going to go for an exit. Will not find it. Marsh able to live on a slither of HP. Second round goes to Villains now. No 1-1 this time around. And of course, maybe shouts to Rosa again, our lovely admin. giving Nebula song suggestions before this game started. Always like that from Nebula. You don't get to hear it behind the scenes, but he's always a man of many suggestions here. Nebula, they like to I guess ask for a song to close out a series or really potentially come back into it. Rose is always happy to oblige. Jesse, though, happy to oblige on a headshot. Pocket gonna be taken out early on. Now drone high. Gonna be able to be walked up here with Tax. Oh, does the outro not spot Royals there? Oh, that might be very, very nice on the timing here, Royals. To jump up, the wall's up at A. Has been shot down and minimizes on the rotate back. Has the info. Stars go up. And stars are for Nebula. Now, Orange Pearl. Tap immediately. Minimize takes him. Tries to get back to safety. They're not going to be able to be picked up here by the side of villains. This is their quote-unquote eco round. Their quote-unquote bonus. Shock darts come out. Devour looking to get antsy. Curveball goes out. Tax now to try and flush some corners. He will be taken. Jesse is yet to come alive from the heaven. Marsh still behind this wire. Still ever so prevalent in this site, though. Suave will be taken. And it's going to be the first on the board for Nebula. Very slow but methodical retake to come out from them. Very impressive stuff there. Devour able to use the curveballs to set that one up. And just trade kills left, right, and center. So we look now at the economy. As we said, that was a bit of an eco for villains. They're now on a full buy. Cosmic Divide and Hunter's Fury available already to be put in play for the side of Nebula. We're going to put in play a potential aggressive push towards the middle of the map. But over on the other side of things, Nebula have given up C to the side of villains, and they'll take all the impressive positioning that they can. Orange Pillar in a good spot. They find out Jesse. Find out a first initial kill though. Royals able to get one, collects it on the peak. They're all now back towards the spawn here, playing very far back for this post play, I have to say. Orange Pearl looking to aggress. They're looking to far forward, and they will now have Tax and Devour to deal with in this site. Suave pocket, Orange Pearl all in the midst of things. Devour finds the first and the second. Looking to spray onto the third. Devour rips them to shreds. Finds a second to Nebula. That is the bravest peak I've ever seen anyone go for. And he will be able to do so. Second on the board for Nebula. And it's very interesting to see. You can still teach an old dog new tricks. That swing was gargantuan from Devour. Secures the second for Nebula. Secures themselves back in a little bit of a lead in terms of the economy. Attacks up top here. Hunter's Fury available for Jesse. Run it back for Devour. Knives popped by Orange Pearl early on. Devour's just looking to use the run it back for intel. Side of villains trying to take some aggressive control of their own. Marsh is out through long. Another kill. Suave takes out Tax. B-side looking to be approached upon, but Jesse be approached upon as well. Myth wrap on Jesse, not expecting. And now a site completely taken by the side of villains. For that recon, it scans everywhere towards this A link side. I'm gonna back off for the moment. Devour and Royals just gonna keep their nice little vandals into this next one. I have to say, an impressive round there for Villains. Very aggressive on their take towards middle. It pays off, and they're able to put it on the board. Not losing a member either. A Glass Cannon Vandal on Suave was not what I was expecting. Now, they look to probably go for the hunt. You can see Orange Pearl did pop the knives. No one gonna be showing face. Third now on the board for Villains. Ultimates now available here for them as well. Cosmic Divide for Suave. Now Pocket has the run it back. This is a bit of a teeter-totter start to this half. Would have been expected of our last game, but it got a little bit even later on. Now, a round lead for Villains, but Nebula, they have money to buy. Showstopper retrieved by Tax. Also Orb picked up. That Recon gonna be shot out immediately. Suave. Oh, sorry, that's Orange. That's Royals on the Astra. Suave's on the other team. It's good to see both Astras now back in play, and both teams pretty prominent Astra players. Suave and Royals very good on their post-plant situations, but also very good at site takes themselves. Devour. Gotta find the first over at long. That's just the lurker in Suave. Tax. Showstopper now pulled. He's looking to wait for it. He's trying to wait for him to hit the air. He hits the wall. Tax just waits for the opportunity to pounce. Now Minimize has the opportunity to pounce himself. Isn't able to capitalize on it though. Able to back off for the moment. Tax is still hunting for kills. As this has been a complete ace site lockout. Devour now deep towards lower mid. Could be finding a few members in just a second here. He's holding for the spike. He's holding for Marsh, but Marsh has hit the shot. He's got the neural theft and now pops and used. Nebula trying to retake the C site. Rails is going to have to go gargantuan though. It's minimized with a peak. It's minimized with a second. Hunter's Fury now going to be popped here by Jesse. Myth looking to hunt it. He's got 36 seconds. He's got 3 players to deal with. 1 shot to minimize. Now 2 more to come into play. 8 seconds. And Tax will take it. Tax with the most mechanically impressive ultimate I've ever seen. Waits it. Time is of the essence. Third round now on the board for the side of Nebula. Well, you can see the impact that's had on this round. Very little, actually. It's even up, though, by the side of Nebula. Gravity Well forces Tax in a bit of a rough position, but he's still able to make it work. Blast back to safety. Now looking for the wallbang on a Marsh. They're going ever so aggressive here on the side of Nebula, and it seems to be paying off for the moment. Wallbang. Now Royals is going to be flushed out of position. Very well timed on the wallbang and the utility. Able to dodge out the Hunter's Fury. Lucky to be alive. Him and Jesse. Tax. Minimize all around this C site, but no one here from Villains really has to play with it. Though Tax able to take 2 and puts the man advantage, puts the res in play. Now puts the round on its shoulders here to Marsh and Myth. Impressive Sentinel player that it Marsh is. I have to look to find this first kill. He's looking to go into spawn, and he could be meeting a few Nebula players in just a second. Will that corner be checked? It will be by Tax. Found his 4th now in the round. Myth 1v5. Stars lined up. Initial kill. Second on attack. Start. Gonna be shot out. Now needs to isolate a few more kills. He is cautious of Devour. He knows he's gonna go for a peek. Myth finds the 5th. He finds almost the 6th, but Jesse is able to trade it. Myth almost. I was starting to believe. 4 on the board though for the side of Nebula. 3 still for Villains. A much needed one if you're Nebula. Deny the economic situation from going awry. 4. You can see this is, of course, Villain's map pick, but Nebula a pretty comfortable team on Haven. Not in recent times, though. Haven hasn't been an all too great of a map for Nebula. Speaking about their results, especially in the VOC, dropping it to, I believe, the likes of McBTS. BTS, a bit of a different breed in terms of teams. Axe has been spotted. Minimize opted for the judge. He's looking to farm some cash in this round. We could be looking to find it in just a second. They're trying to walk out through that smoke. What a brave play. But Nebula, aware of their situation. Oh, Devour. And brave peek. Now it's just left to Myth yet again. This time 1v4, a little bit more of a doable scenario. No res in play and no, of course, players to really deal with. Eco goes the way of Nebula, and of course we look at our scoreboard, and again we're still on the lookout for our Vodafone MVP award. Of course, 150 New Zealand dollars up for grabs for the player we believe has played the most insane throughout the season. I'm looking at players like Devour. Only has come in to repair this Nebula rebuild. And he's already putting up numbers in this second series that he's played. Sage Orb to come out. Dart goes up. Minimize. Pretty cautious. He's going to go for the peek on Orange Pearl. Cosmic Divide goes up towards A, but Nebula, they might have to go a different way here. Oh my god, Devour. That's an aggressive play. Able to pay it off. Stars go up. And this is where they have to go C here, because that wall, that Cosmic Divide doesn't favor them. Minimize to push the spawn. Tap on a Myth. Takes him out. Suave. Now, the clutch scenario will be taken by Minimize. A beautiful played around there for Nebula. A bit of tactical crouching to boot. Nebula takes 6. And they take a double digit. Sorry, 2 times the lead. 2 times the rounds of Villains. I have to say, defense aggression seems to be paying off for them. Villains, very unfortunate seems that they put in though. Myth starting to put up numbers. He's starting to really come into his own in this series. Seem to see it from the rest of this Villains roster. They all go up now towards the long side. They go towards C. Dump the util, they dump everything into a pocket. They would find the first Devour. Not able to trade out the kills. It's 3v3 in the hands, and the spike goes down for the side of Villains. That wire goes up. It goes to Jesse. Suave. And they hold garage area and stacks. They find it. We got the Minimize. Slow Orb goes out. There's a player out on site. Jesse able to take out Suave, but bang from Myth. Minimize taken. It's an eco stolen by Villains. So we get the spike down. It's going to be a 4th for them. Beautifully played round there. Really catching Nebula off guard, it would seem. Ultimates, though, now available for 4 of the 5 members. Run it back, Hunter's Fury, Sage Res, and Cosmic Divide to a pocket. He's got the run it back. They've almost got a few ultimates here for the side of Villains, and they could almost make this an even half. Dash forward. Tax knows it too. He hears, and he knows Orange Pearl's aggressive tendencies, though. Just because, you know, someone doesn't mean they're still not going to win the fight. Minimize. Now up on top of the wall. Tag on a Myth. And a back off to safety. Devour. Again. Able to find these multi-frag rounds out of nowhere. Now drone goes out. Minimizes, giving away his position for the moment. He's actually going to jump back up on the wall. Will he find Myth? He will. 2 players now left. It's Marsh and it's Orange Pearl. Orange Pearl a little low. It's going to be really up to Marsh to do it all. Cage Tripwire available. 50 seconds to work with. They're going to have to isolate duels. Minimize just going to be playing back of long. Wallbang shot in the Marsh. Marsh looking to approach in just a second. He can hear the swing and very well timed there. Minimize knows he's too smart. He's too clean. Now it's the last round of the half. A similar scoreline than our first one. 7-4. Do we see an 8-4 or do we see potential 7-5? Villains, a little bit more of a doable situation, but Nebula, they didn't burn any ultimates in that last round. Villains now have a few ultimates of their own to work with. It's going to be up to Orange Pearl, Marsh, and Pocket, and we expect to see Devour posted up with his operator. Hugs the wall, shot straight to Pocket. Now looking for a few more. Does actually look for a tag. Here's a player come out, though. He's got Minimize to back him up this time. Hunter's Fury now pops. Jesse nails 2. Tag on to Marsh, and this is all she wrote. Minimize takes the last kill of the round. Not a hope of that C take coming into play. 8 rounds on the board for Nebula. As Villains going to be taking an early deficit. They're going to be taking a half deficit again this time around. So we look at the scoreboards here. It's 13-6 for Devour. It's 13-9 for Minimize. 10-5 for Jesse. 8-7 for Tax. Rails, you know, he's at that 2-8 mark, but he's doing his job. He's got the smokes. He's gotten everything set up here for Nebula to go for these takes. As we said in the last game, it's going to be an ever-prevalent pistol round. We're going to have to see it come in huge for the side of Villains. Orange Pearl left to his devices. A few Sheriff shots and a bit of damage being done across the board. Dash back, though. He's still able to take taxis. Going to be gravity well for the moment, but he's still able to live. Suave's taken 2 with a frenzy. 2 able to trade back. Heal goes up for Minimize. Jesse just gonna be pelting darts out. Default plant, probably not what Jesse wants to go for. He's swapping his angle. He can hear and sense that Myth and Pocket are on the approach. Jesse needs to turn around though. Pocket, and he's gonna nail both. Pocket. Some beautiful taps there. That's going to be Villains finding themselves a 5th round, a much needed pistol. Goes their way again. It appears Villains are pretty good on their pistol, but not on the subsequent rounds. They do have that spike plant, so Side of Nebula, they could force potential Spectres into this one, but they're not going to. Sheriffs from Devour attacks. More than signals a full eco here, if you can count. It's not a full eco. They still bought pistols, but it's an eco nevertheless. Stars being put into play early for the side of Villains. Paint Shell's curveball comes out. Trying to go for some aggressive C take here. Gravity Well is going to stall it for the moment. Minimize is going to go for the walk up. Jesse nails 1. Tax nails another. Now it's up to Suave to do some magic again from this garage side. Spectre comes out long range and finds 1 only. Tax trades it back. Now they got Minimized back sight with Frenzy. He's going to eat a shock dart for breakfast. Molly comes out from Devour. They've got post plant to play for here. 2 darts available. Walk up. Do they check Minimize? No. Not quite so for the moment, and there it is. Minimize just lining up shots with the Frenzy from the back of sight. Just delaying for the time. Pocket runs back and take it out immediately. Ping on the dart. Pocket is more than known. Tax can't pull out the gun in time, but they're just stalling. Devour finds the final. 9 on the board. 1-1 here in the half. And Nebula find themselves a 9th. Very impressive stuff here. As we look at the scoreboard again, it's Devour doing a absolutely insane scoreline. We haven't seen Devour all too much in recent terms. Of course, as I said, Played on Nebula way back in the day. Minimize, you know, he's been around this roster since its creation. Devour, a bit of an old face, trying to come back. And teach an old dog new tricks, it would seem. Push through middle here. The side of villains. Trying to maybe steal away an aggressive first kill. Attacks to the window. Minimize to the garage. The longest flank gonna be coming in. Tax though. Very smart. He's just gone for lurk kills at this stage. He's gonna paint shell, blast pack himself out. Val goes for the peak. Now it's left Orange Pearl. What do you do with a Sheriff in a 1v5 situation? Well, you find the first on attacks to start it off. Vandal in a 1v4. He's gonna toss up the one-way smoke, but he's being held by Devour. Shock dart. He has jumped himself over. Cloudburst, shots, push, coming in. Peak, Devour continues to hunt for this kill. He's gonna steal away the gun. Orange Pearl gonna be dead to right. 10 on the board now for Nebula. It's really last test here. 10 double digits. Nebula, they steal this. They force villains back to Eco territory. It's going to be up to Orange Pearl with his operator to try and hit this first initial kill. We haven't seen too much from Orange Pearl. We didn't see much from him last series as well. I'm speaking, of course, against the side of Tilted. It's a bit of a rough one for him. Maybe in a bit of a slump. We've seen a few players slump in recent times. Now paint shells come out. Showstopper blast back, and Tax goes high for it. No one in sight for him to really deal with. That's a free walk up here for the side of Nebula. Concussion comes out on attacks. He's going to be tucking himself in a graffiti for the moment. Flash comes out. No, Tax lines up two immediately. Now it's left to Orange Pearl. He's dead to right by Minimize. And a shutout statement in that rifle round from the side of Nebula. As we do another scoreboard check. Res now available for Minimize. Hunter's Fury available for Jesse. One off the run it back already. Eco territory, it would seem. Forced up from Myth. Judge out for Marsh. Sheriff's knives available there for Orange Pearl. Might be looking to see him do some magic with those. As the walk goes towards this A site, it's going to be up to Marsh to really deal with it. He's got a cage, he's got a judge to work with, though. He's going to be pelted bullets in his face, pelted bullets in his dome. He's dead completely. Another A take comes in. Orange Pearl, we're looking to go for the double up draft. Tax though reads it. This is so smart from Nebula, I have to say. You see jet plays like that really pay off dividends there, but it's going to be now Swap to try and drop in. No one's going to check in for the moment, and where it is at Myth. One to force the Spectre into this one. He's trying to pick up the Vandal. He's trying to pick up the gun. He's trying to pick up a few more kills. He can't quite do so. 12 match point, series point here for the side of Nebula. Villains, their last hurrah now. Knives were popped in that last one from Orange Pearl. Force into this one. Nebula, they're back in high hopes, it would seem. After such, you know, a bit of a rough start to their season, having to replace the player, having to really go back to the drawing board in how they want to play this. This has been impressive. Devour, it's really started to put numbers up on the board and really starting to grow into his own. Definitely on our look as our Vodafone MVP. It's the hit straight towards B here for the side of Nebula. Devour with the run it back just to bait the shots. Oh my god, the Myth banger one and back on it to Jesse. Devour still looking for a little bit more. He's gonna find lineup one. Tax in the site, looking to peek forward. He's able to take that kill. Res comes out. It's now a 4v2. Make it 2v2. Make it 1v2. It's now Myth versus the world. Paint shells fall at his feet. 7 HP. Dart comes out. He's pinged one. He's found the ace on attacks, but does he know Rels is coming in with a knife? Myth. No cheeky little knife round from Nebula. But Myth, he doesn't have time. He's just sitting there. He's typing out some BM. He's got the cake. Cherry on top. He's got to be quicker next time. Not gonna deny it there. Bit of an interesting push there. Nebula could have closed it, but they're still feeling cheeky. This game continues to go. Tech pause. Gonna come in here from the side of Nebula. Here's we've got a bit of an issue with minimize. Maybe his mouse. Oh, forgot there was a building there. Here's his mouse was going on the frets. A bit of an interesting knife attempt there from Rel, so it was almost doable. Myth was down to, as we said, 2 points of HP. Very lucky member. Keeps villains into it for the moment. We can see on the scoreboard though. Devour 20 and 9, minimize 18 and 12, tax 17 and 11. Brave peak to come out from him. Myth with 20 of his own. He's really the only one putting up numbers here for the side of villains. We've seen a bit of an unfortunate turn of events for them in this series so far. 10 and 17 for Suave. 8 and 14 for Pocket. It's been very, very tested this series so far. Hopefully we see him come back. We're still, you know, waiting on attack. Technical pause. Of all the times here as well, it's still match point. Villains thankful that Myth was able to clutch that up, deny a knife opportunity. But I feel the longer this pause goes, I guess for the side of villains, the quicker their morale starts to deplete. So we are just to wait and minimize his return, of course. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're seeing so far this evening. Again, apologies for any choppy frame rates on my end. You know how Australian net is. It's not the greatest. 12-6. Match and series point here. Side of Nebula. Now, I was not expecting this performance out of Devour. We saw him fill in last week. We didn't see it. Maybe we see it again. Second time, villains have been in a rough situation. We saw them bow out in their game against Tilted just previously. Leave a 13-9, 13-7 scoreline. Now minimize back. He's returned to us, and yep, he's moving now. And well, that means we're back into the swing of things, and unpaused to come in just a second. 12-6 here. As we said, match point. Villains really do or die. Judge available for Marsh and Orange. Probably going to go for it. Pocket with run it back. Myth with Hunter's Fury.
Here.
As we just awaited the ready. It's an interesting purchase I'm seeing from Minimize. You can see it being held. Will it be full? Will Minimize actually keep this Odin? He hasn't sold it yet. It's 5 seconds in the clock. Does Minimize actually keep this Odin? Is he going for... He's going for wallbang. Alright. Alright, respects it. Concussion comes out. Suave goes for a bit of an early one. Blast pack goes. Suave is put to the test. He's able to spray on through. Finds one true kill on attacks. Spike will go down, though. I'm going to send out the recon. Rels? He's going to budge a muscle for the moment. He's going to hide amongst the smoke. The tap comes out. Runter's Fury being used. Jesse, a little bit early, I would feel. Devour's not looking the right way. Minimize with wallbang. He's in a cheeky little spot, and this is why he purchased it. Pocket is taken low. But Minimize has lost the angle, he's lost the spot, he's lost the timing, he's lost everything. Tries to go for the new turn wall bang. Not gonna pay off this time. 12-7. Villains are able to take another. For the side of Nebula, they're not gonna be feeling too disheartened about that one. Just a bit of an attempt at the beat's sake. It's going to be an attempted reclaim of this game here for Villains. Back over towards their C hits, it would seem. Marsh gonna be the one to be tested. Good out. And the showstopper pulled by Tax. Isn't gonna find it. Marsh is able to back completely off the C site. Sets it now up for the plant position. Whoever has tossed up the blaze. The spike goes towards the back of site. Drop down here. Tax is still playing in because he has been positioned for this. Cosmic Divide goes up. Tax takes another fight in the site. He's able to jump around. He's trying to find an orange pearl, taken and Minimize to take the final kill with the Odin. Flawless.